now, just when John starts.
Yes, sir.
It's Dennis McNeil here for Causeway Coast Community. You join us as we join Mervyn White, event director, and his driver today in one of the official Northwest 200 cars, John Wilson, at the wheel. And this is just between sessions, heading down towards Millbank now, on the wrong side of the road, I should say, but of course the roads are closed. Glorious day here, over to the right hand side. Beautiful Atlantic Ocean, not that the riders have too much time to take that in. We're heading on down towards York Corner, just looking at Lee Johnson's chat on a lap of the course on YouTube last night, and Lee Johnson saying that this is really seriously hard braking. Coming into view, I don't know if the camera can catch it, is the grandstand here just in front of Amici Restaurant, and this of course is one of the original and traditional hairpins. This is just holding off here while Mervyn White makes contact back with race control. Coming round the hairpin now, and we're pulling up out of York Corner. Spectators starting to fill up. A bright sunny Thursday, I was saying, weather-wise is terrific. We've got what looks like one of the breakdown vans in front. That's the silver van. They go out and do a check after each session, and you can just see them picking up a bike there. Mervyn White now giving instructions to driver John Wilson just to hold back here. The purpose of this, of course, is just to have a look at the lap at the circuit and see that the circuit is clear before another practice session starts again. And weather-wise, going back to that weather again, this is perfect conditions for the practice sessions and the qualifying sessions to secure a great place on tonight's grid and on Saturday's grid. Interestingly, John Wilson, driver, was just saying to us, of course, they don't really want this bright sunshine this evening. That can prove very, very difficult, as many riders have confirmed over the years as they're coming along that sort of home stretch along the coast road between Portrush and Port Stewart. Breakdown van has just now pulled out ahead of us. We're approaching Millbank roundabout, one of two roundabouts of course on the circuit, where this vehicle now, as well as all the riders, will go round the roundabout on the, in inverted commas, wrong side of the road. And that's us now, we're nipping on through here on the left side of the roundabout. You can see the cars all up Mill Road there. Coming up, new housing either side of us here, approaching what used to be known as Trollins. I still refer to it as Trollins, but it's a Super Value up on the right hand side. John and Mervyn both keeping a very eager and eagle eye to see what is going on. We're just pulling in now. Guys are just checking the positioning of those barriers.
Boys, could we keep these closed over here?
And keep them further back.
Keep them further back. They're pushed away out. Can we move them on back? They've all been pushed away out.
Aye.
Okay.
The only thing I leave a wee gap is for the travel marshals to come through to fuel these.
Right, okay.
I would even keep them further back. You see the way the other ones are.
Okay,
these
know,
here
but
further forward.
I can still leave the wee gap. At least
I
the
still need the
marshals-
back. Move them all the way further on.
100%.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right. No, I noticed that.
Okay, the guys have just sorted that one out. Their concerns there, but the barriers outside Super Value coming too close to the road, and of course the bikes coming along this stretch are probably doing well in excess of 100 miles per hour. Approaching Station Corner now, approaching the old what was Cremore Halt railway station. It's on our left. I see a guy on a bicycle here, and we're just jinking round to the right on board the official car, coming up past the Cremore estate on our right hand side with another breakdown van in front, keeping an eye out for either riders or motorcyclists or their machinery which may need lifted. And again, referring back to that Lee Johnson lap, he had it on YouTube just in the last day or two. He was saying about the slight bump or rise as you approach here, just where this little bridge crosses over towards the end of Acherton Road. Mervyn White, event director, and John Wilson in conversation and keeping an eye as to what is going on either side. The fields up on the right hand side, I've often thought would be a terrific place for a couple of big grandstands. Maybe they're too remote from the start-finish area, who knows. But
Hello, can I speak to Mervyn, please?
Speaking.
Hi, it's Kelly Ann from Western.
and we're just making our way. We're just making our way up the fastest part of the course.
Give me a ring later on. We'll throw some practice here at the present time.
I'm trying not to interfere with the ongoing and onboard conversation that Mervyn White is having with someone. Okay, I'm back with you again now. We've just come through the fastest part. This is where the speed trap is, just as the bikers approach Ballysally roundabout and approach this left turn at University. A couple of minor offs on Tuesday here. There'll be a heck of a speed picked up as the guys approach this corner. Tuesday speeds here were recorded around 193, 194, 195 miles per hour. One of those from a standing start. Don't be surprised if those speeds at that point of the course today are well in excess of 200 miles per hour for many riders. We're banking round to the right now. Here we are at the Magic Roundabout, as it's fondly known, Ballysally Roundabout. I think correctly it's Dickie's Roundabout now, a new sponsor coming on board. First time I have come round a roundabout on the wrong side. Just looking across, see the BBC Sport position there, and their cameras, and of course the points on the circuit where we can link back to Tannoy commentary. There's another one down at York and another one down at Metropole. 26 or 27 BBC camera positions, we believe, on the course. Quite extensive and unrivaled coverage through BBC, and that's available, of course, online as well as on the telly or on the radio. It's the long pull now down to Portrush. This, as I recall from years gone by, was known as the fastest stretch or the fastest part of the course. The chicane that was installed some years ago just ahead of us has slowed those speeds down, and I suppose in modern times with these bikes, which you can literally buy in a motorcycle outlet, these things are capable of a fearsome speed. So the chicane was introduced here just we're approaching Mathers Cross now. And of course I can't go through Mathers Cross in the official vehicle without noting 10 years ago this week the wonderful Robert Dunlop very sadly left us. Through the chicane, heading on down now, we have Macharaboy away on ahead, and then of course the long pull down into Metropole. You can see marshals either side of the road. Without marshals, of course, without volunteers, and Mervyn White will tell you himself, this event just could not take place. These guys attend many meetings, safety meetings, health and safety meetings, training sessions and so on, so that they are fully up to speed with their use of flags, how they deal with spectators and so on. We're still behind one of the Northwest 200 Vauxhall vans, and we're approaching Macharaboy Cross. This is quite unique, very exclusive to be on board this vehicle on a session of this lap while the roads are closed. That doesn't just happen overnight. I can tell you there's a bit of discussion and negotiation to get this, but we're delighted that Causeway Coast community is able to do this. Connell Ridge Primary School on the right hand side, also a great spot for spectators. Mervyn White now just taking note of what's ahead of us as the breakdown van moves across to the right hand side of the road, and you can see there on the signage that how the bikes are slowed away down here again, and they've got to negotiate the bales, the barriers here in the middle of the road. This is bringing their speed right away down, and then they'd be full on the gas, full on the throttle from here. Macharaboy over on the right hand side, they'd be full on the throttle from here right down into the Metropole, which stretches away ahead of us there. Another commentary point at the Metropole, lots of spectator points and viewing points in the gardens, behind the walls, behind the barriers here, either side of us, as we just come past the petrol station there. And again, those bikes are well in excess of 100, 140 miles per hour, approaching the Metropole. It lies just ahead of us here. It's a sharp left hand, a 90-degree turn. and the bikes, many of the bikes, if you watch the TV footage, of course, are securing a braking position across on the right hand side of the road before they drop the bike round to and down to the left. Metropole here with where the former hotel was, police station on the right hand side, and the big banner advertising a place where legends are made. That's us banking round now to the right, a 90-degree turn. Grandstand across here on the embankment. Quite a few people on that grandstand. Approaching Church Corner, and again, this is, I would imagine, for the motorbikers, a difficult corner. You're coming round here where by day, through the week, there's a mini roundabout there, and they're having to negotiate this correctly, negotiate which side of the road they're on, coming onto the railway bridge up through Juvarn. Millstrand Primary School is up ahead, two of the race vehicles ahead now of us, and we're approaching Black Hill. And this is also something which would be difficult enough, challenging enough for guys coming up here at 100 miles per hour, whatever. This would be pretty much, I think I'm right saying, a blind hill, in that you're approaching, you're coming over the top, and you're hoping to drop the bike down to the right hand side and get your angle, get your line correct as you head on out towards the Tides restaurant on the right hand side, Carrickdew Caravan Park on the left hand side, and this is pretty much probably the home straight. Home is in sight. John Wilson, driver, was just reminding me earlier, this is quite unpleasant for the drivers, especially on a sunny evening, because you've got the sun glinting through all the different buildings and so on. Fantastic for us to look at, nice to be in that sort of weather, but the bikers themselves have to be very careful. Approaching now Juniper Hill. Got Ballyray Golf Course on the right hand side. If you're out in a modern day car sticking to the speed limits, it'll take you some 15 minutes to go from start finish back round to start finish. These guys do this in somewhere around 4 minutes. Bear in mind, an average speed, that's an average speed for the entire lap they do, in excess of 100 miles per hour. We're in through the Juniper chicane. Up ahead of us I can see Quarry Hill. The end, home is in sight. We're going quite slowly through here. A number of people standing there watching over by Juniper Hill Caravan Park. We've got another BBC camera point. I think it did say 25, 26 camera points through the course. John Wilson, driver, pulls us up through now, up towards the final, or the penultimate bend in the road. This is Quarry Hill, and then there's a bit of a ducking down into the left to get the bike straightened up and racing through the start-finish line at maximum speed. Terrific view from us here in the car. Not so for a biker concentrating on coming through here at full pelt. And there we have just ahead of us the start-finish line. And that is pretty much a lap of the Northwest 200 course. I lift my voice again because I think the guys are off the radio. My sincere thanks to Mervyn White, event director, and to John Wilson, our driver. Just pulling up here to have a chat with somebody else, but that's a lap of the Northwest 200 course. I thoroughly enjoyed that, an exclusive lap. I hope you've enjoyed that too, for Causeway Coast Community here at the Northwest 200 on the final Thursday. I'm Dennis McNeil.